So, the Philadelphia 76ers, one of the biggest messes in the NBA. Let's throw it back to the beginning with this particular team. Sam Hinkie starts the process, trades away every player worth a damn for picks, and shamelessly tanks. Doing so, they get a whole lot of draft picks, which they use to take a whole lot of misses, but they also get 2 hits in Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. The pairing of these two is set to be the foundation of the future of this team, but in their first year together, while they did win 50 games, they also got destroyed in the second round by a rookie and the reincarnation of Reggie Jackson. Next year, the Sixers go all in on contending immediately, trading for Jimmy Butler and Tobias Harris. While these moves were short-sighted, they did get them pretty far, and it could have brought them all the way, but Kawhi Leonard and the Rim had a different idea. And apparently, Jimmy Butler also had a different idea from what the Sixers wanted, because he left in free agency, and the consolation prize was just Josh Richardson. So the Sixers take a big hit there, but they have plenty of cap space, so what star do they sign to replace Jimmy Butler? Well, Al Horford. Despite Al being a 33-year-old center, what did they pay him? $25 million a year over 4 years. And on top of that, they gave a max contract to Tobias Harris, despite him not even sniffing an all-star selection at any point in his career. As for how those moves worked out, well, they had their worst season in 3 years with this duo, and with this team in cap hell, with no clear way of improving, they are one of the biggest messes in the league. So the question is, how do you clean up this mess? Well, there certainly is not an easy answer. Looking at this roster with Tobias Harris and Al Horford having the horrible contracts that they do, you can't save this team by trading one of them straight up. And while Josh Richardson is an alright player, he isn't the foundation of a franchise-saving move level of a player. Same goes for Matisse Thybulle. The guy has potential, but not taking on Al Horford's contract alongside him to get back a star potential. So basically, the Sixers are stuck, but there is one way out. However, it requires a decision that no GM would ever want to have to make. The duo of Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid has to be broken up. This team can only go down from where it is right now. The only way out is taking a huge risk and that risk working out. Whether or not Simmons and Embiid can work together at the highest level is up for debate, but regardless of how you feel about that, due to the position that Elton Brand put this team, they have to be broken up. It's simply the only way. So then the question becomes, who of these two do you end up trading? On the surface, it seems clear. Joel Embiid is without a doubt the best player on the 76ers. However, he is also 2 years older, very injury prone, constantly out of shape, and in 2020, building around a traditional center is a very risky move. However, another risky move in 2020 is building around a player who doesn't shoot the ball. I didn't say can't, I said doesn't, like he literally refuses to shoot the ball. However, Ben Simmons is elite at every other aspect of basketball, and his fullest potential hasn't really been set yet because the Sixers have actively exposed his weaknesses pretty much every year. Rookie year he was fine, but the next year Jimmy Butler's ball dominance exposed how poor of an off-ball player he was, and this year with 2 centers on the court who were mediocre shooters, that wasn't doing him any favors. But if Ben was surrounded by 4 shooters, I think he would be a dominant player. This is not an easy decision, but for me, I know where I'm going, and you do too because you see the thumbnail. Joel Embiid has to go. For what? Well, building around Simmons, I need a shot creator, because Ben can't create his own shot on the perimeter. I also want a playmaker so Simmons can be used as a roll man, and ideally with Ben being the defender that he is, we would also have a defensive foundation. And because I'm more interested in winning now, I don't really want young guys. However, I'm also not interested in trading for anyone too old. Also, I'd like to get out of one of these humongous contracts, and luckily, after some thinking, I have found the perfect deal. Okay, so there are a lot of moving pieces here, so let me explain. I'm sending Joel Embiid to the Portland Trail Blazers. The Blazers, as a franchise, are kind of stuck, and with a player of Damian Lillard's talent, the team wants to pair him with another top 15 player. Doing so, they will have to part ways with CJ McCollum, Gary Trent, and a whole lot of first-round picks. We are obviously getting back CJ, but with Nurkic being on the Blazers and him being too good to come off of the bench, he is heading to the Boston Celtics, who desperately need a center, and they are also giving us some first-round picks in exchange for that. So from this deal, we get CJ, who can be a shot creator Gary Trent, who showed a whole lot of potential in the bubble for the Blazers this year, and a handful of first-round picks. However, this trade is a two-parter because next up I'm getting off of Horford's contract, sending him to the Pelicans alongside 3 first-round picks, one of them being a 2024 Blazers first unprotected in exchange for Drew Holiday. For us, as I said, I wanted a good playmaker, and Holiday is that. And then for the Pelicans, they were trying to sign Al Horford last season to a deal not much smaller than what we gave him, and with him playing his actual position at center, he's a veteran 5 who can shoot the ball okay, is a good defender and passer who pairs very well with Zion Williamson. The Pels are getting back 3 first-round picks, one of them being a very good pick, so they move away from Holiday, which they have been rumored to want to do. They get a center they wanted last year, as well as some good draft assets. The first themselves would normally be an overpay for Drew Holiday, however that Horford contract means giving up a pretty valuable first-round pick in exchange. So in total for Joel Embiid, we have received CJ McCollum, Drew Holiday, Gary Trent Jr., a handful of first-round picks, and some cap relief by getting us off of Horford's deal. Now, I imagine you'd probably be thinking right now, well, okay, 2 guards, what position are you playing Ben Simmons at? Well, you might have also noticed that I just traded 2 centers, and I'm sure as hell not starting Kyle O'Quinn, so, well, I'm going experimental this season. Our starting center is Ben Simmons. I think he can defend most centers in the league, like literally all of them except for Anthony Davis, Karl Anthony Towns, Jokic, and now Embiid. So for the other 25 teams, Simmons at the 5 is just fine, and offensively, this keeps us from having to bog down the paint with a traditional center. But because you always need a backup plan, I'm signing Aaron Baines, a physical 5 who can also shoot the ball. And if Simmons at the 5 is not working against a team like the Wolves, Nuggets, and Blazers, or the Lakers, we can sub in Baines to handle that. Worst case, Simmons plays a 3, Baines is our center, and that's not a horrible worst case. But as of now, I'm going with a starting lineup of Holiday at the point, CJ at the 2, Matisse Thybulle at the 3, Tobias Harris at the 4, and Simmons at the 5. Shooting and some great defense with Thybulle, Holiday, and Simmons. This season is going to be very different, very experimental. If you care to keep up with it, then subscribe to my second channel. Last time I did a MyGM series on this channel, it ended up killing the views on my normal videos, so I'm not going to be continuing this one here. I'm only doing one of these videos on this channel. The remainder of this season will be over on my second channel. Episode 2 is posted there right now alongside episode 1 just so they can all be on one channel. So if you want to see the results of these trades and what happens for the future of this series, then go head over there, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. I would like to be able to upload this series consistently, so your support over there would be much appreciated. So go subscribe over there, and that is the end of this video. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and cue the outro music.